Hello, my friends, and good morning. I'm here at the Franklin Institute. I have a Jamie with me. Came all the way from California. But anyway, I invite you to come along. Let's go check out the Disney100 exhibition.
Oh boy! Oh, steady! Whoa! Hi, Mouseketeers! Well, here we go again, so hang on! Anything goes! You ready? And let the show begin! Here's my pal Walt to tell you how the magic is made.
There's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into reality. When we consider a new project, we really study it. Not just the surface idea, but everything about it. And when we go into that new project, we believe in it all the way. We have confidence in our ability to do it right, and we work hard to do the best possible job. There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Everybody ready? Then on with the show!
All right, so that was trippy. I'm not sure how I feel about that, other than uncomfortable, because I don't know, did Walt ever say any of that stuff? Anyway, jumping right in, here's the Laugh-O-Gram stuff from, I think, around the time he started doing the Alice shorts. And it looks like this setup is kind of like tight, winding little hallways. Anyway, it starts right away with like the Alice shorts and stuff. This is pretty great, the Alice comedies. I guess it was cheaper to have the actress, but there is a lot of animation here that, from what I've been seeing, just in the first few minutes of walking in. Like, that's pretty cool. So they had to probably cut out and stitch these cells or these frames together, huh? Kind of wild. This was done when? How long ago was this? In the 20s, right? Like the mid-1920s? It's impressive for that time. I'm definitely going to be focused on some of this stuff that I've never seen before. But from 1923 over to Oswald in 27, I feel like this stuff you don't see. Like, why isn't this on Disney Plus, you know? There was a small collection of them, but as most of you know, this got taken away by, I think it was Universal, over copyrights. It was their property. Hey, Hortensia. Bet you didn't know about her. A lot of people don't. I don't think even many Disney fans know about Oswald's girl. Oh, this is cool. Sketch pages. Then what do we got here? Another little sketch. I would love to have something like that in my collection. What's this? The telegram. So I took a quick read of that telegram. This is the one, I believe, where Walt was in New York and Charles Mintz had basically taken the rights away and control of the character for Oswald, and I believe it was this train ride from New York to California where Mickey Mouse was conceived, I think. Then moving on here to 1928 for Steam Boat Willie, we do have, dang, a whole story script page for the opening of Steamboat Willie. Yeah, that's wild. This is so cool to see. Huh. And of course they have it playing. It was a very peculiar, I didn't see it until recently. There's a lot of really weird gags with like animals and stuff that I don't know if they'd play very well in today's world. I do highly recommend you watch it, just because everybody loves the opening with, you know, Mickey whistling. It goes places though after that. It goes to some strange, funny places. Let's see, we got some cleanup animation, and then that looks like just early drawings, test drawings. So he's not quite on model yet in there. So beyond that, then we start getting into the Silly Symphonies, like this one, the Flowers and Trees. I can't believe, so this was 1932. I thought that was like the 40s, and Skeleton Dance over here, probably one of the most popular Silly Symphonies, is 1929. That's kind of wild that it was that long ago. It putting it in some sort of place in time really mixes it up for me. Like, definitely not where I mentally had imagined it being. All right, so now it's starting to open up by decade over here. So far, so good, though. So I'm waiting for that space behind us to clear out, but just noticing how different this is. This was in 1933 with the Big Bad Wolf. Just the way they cleaned up the animation and everything here versus even Steamboat Willie in 1928, like, it just looks completely different. So yeah, this kind of just goes decade by decade. I won't read along everything to you, but the reason that this is the D100 is that it's 100 years since like the first bits of animation in the 1920s came out in 1923 with the Alice comedies that we started the video with. Alright, now I feel like we've opened up into a bigger section here of the exhibit. What are we starting off here with? Is that the actual prop? That is so cool. Oh yeah, it says it right there, derp. Prop storybook from 1937. So this is what they filmed like the opening of the movie with. I was hoping I'd see this. So the first official animated movie. They have all types of things here. So they have that sketch. They have this background here. That's cool. And it's cool to see like that you can actually see physically over at Magic Kingdom right after you exit Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And then this has got to be like a concept sketch of that dance scene. I'm so glad that they hung on to stuff like this. So this must be like an animation reference that they use for like lighting and stuff like that and positioning and things like that for the animators. And then over here is a reproduction of an original watercolor in ink. I'm curious how this kind of helps with the animation. It's such a narrow composition. But then over here I saw they actually have an outfit. So they used to get like their animation references, they would dress somebody up to portray and act out the scenes, record that on regular film like live action, and then I don't think they would paint over it always, but they'd use it as reference for when they were drawing. And this is the one for Pinocchio.
So this is interactive, and when you turn the page, you should show her.
Wow, you're magic. So this is cleanup animation sketch, a reproduction of an original. That looks so cool. I wonder why they add like bits of red. So there's like a little bit of colored pencil in there, but otherwise it's just line art. And just behind that, oh man, this is the prop storybook for the opening of Sleeping Beauty. Wow. Oh, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on here so you can kind of get a sense of the detailing that they did. It looks like somebody actually like really handmade all of this. It's so ornate. I did not know that it was this intricate, but there it is. Wow. Here's something for Cinderella that caught my eye. This is from April 7th, 1948. So I guess they were trying to figure out the work dress and like the design work for it. It says it is also a reproduction of an original. So this is gouache ink and graphite on board, and then another reproduction of an original by Mary Blair, which, if you know Mary Blair, that's that particular like small world style with, I just don't know what to call it. It's very, very apparent when you see something by Mary Blair. Just don't know how to describe it exactly. All right, so I've just been kind of making my way over this way, and they do have the glass slipper here from the live action Cinderella. Somebody actually wore this, or was this just a prop? Because I can't imagine that. Here's another Mary Blair piece, since we're kind of rolling with that. She did a lot of the visual work for Alice in Wonderland as well. Another one of hers. All of these are reproductions, by the way. I don't know if that means anything to you to see originals versus reproductions. So here's another one. David Hall. This one is... I've seen this one before. It is intense. They look so kind of creepy and grotesque. Yeah, I feel like we saw this at D23, but I'm happy to see it again. It's pretty great. The whole little Mary Poppins thing. And then, what's that? That is Dopey's butt. And a little rabbit resting on Dopey's butt. What's that over there?
Mary Poppins snow globe.
Oh, no way. And they added some projections on there. So that's a snow globe from the first Mary Poppins movie. That's weird to say, the first Mary. So kind of in the center of this big room that we just went around are a collection of all the different storybooks in which have been adapted to Disney animated movies. And we're still in, like, I think the 50s era, or maybe we're approaching the 60s. Yeah, we must be, because here's Winnie the Pooh. Concept art for his movie around here, reproductions of originals. And here's Winnie the Pooh. And the live action guy. That's pretty amazing. It looks so, like, let me see if I can get it looking at the camera, if you can. We're gonna just be silent. He looks like he's got thoughts behind those eyes. It's such a good design. I wish I could remember the artist's name who was on TikTok, that he shares a bunch of stuff about how he worked on animation for Beauty and the Beast. Some of the stuff that he shares is really worth looking up if you're into animation. I think it might be this guy, Glenn Keane, but I'm not sure. And then the live action version, Lumiere and Cogsworth. Well, okay, hi. Alright, so that's where we entered from. So I guess we're going to time jump to Princess and the Frog, which unfortunately they only have these two little visual development bits here. And by the way, most of these have just told you the story and blurbs, and it wasn't too much about like anything that you wouldn't know if you're already a Disney fan. If you're already here, a lot of these blurbs aren't offering you new information. Over here is Frozen 2013. Visual development. Oh, Tangled. This one I feel like would have been more popular had they marketed it a little bit better. But here's the iconicness of this, which I'm excited to see whenever it opens up in Tokyo, what they do with it. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is one of the more elaborate like castles, towns, villages that we've seen. So yeah, how odd that was all of the animation stuff for like the animated movies, but here it's moving on to a different theme, which is the illusions of life and just kind of how they give things life. So what you'll see over here is just a big wall of maquettes, design work and stuff, and that's where we'll see a lot of Pixar as well snuck into here, like Maylin from Turning Red. That's how they get things started here. I remember as a kid seeing the Mulan maquettes, especially of what's the big dude's name? Poe, I think. When I went to MGM Studios as a kid, that's where they animated a bunch of it. So like even the 3D characters, they have to get designed as a maquette. The 2D as well, like Gaston. Even Mater, he got a maquette at one point, huh? Which one are you pointing out? Oh, Sparky from Frankenweenie. How cool. And who is it? They made a maquette of this guy? Mr. Tumnus. Alright, what else we got? Oh, that's cool. Some of these are just like, why don't they take a mold and sell them? These are amazing. Alright, oh, we've gotten swarmed. We got swarmed. Watch out behind you.
Oh my gosh.
There's so many. Let's see. Cruella's origins and animation. Alright, it's definitely getting later in the day. You can tell by all the background noise. Here's the cleanup animation drawings of Cruella. They really... Wow. This one's got a little bit more color than the other ones, but again, another reproduction. This is terrifying. And then, what's this? Oh, just storyboards. Okay. There's a whole lot of Cruella here. And then they go into the new movie, and then way back there is the dress. We're gonna let all these kids go first. Alright, that giant tour group is gone. And now we have, oh man, this is something I did not expect to see represented. 102 Dalmatians with Glenn Close. How awesome is that? So we not only have, this one over here with Emma Stone, but we did get Glenn Close. So awesome for that. But this one obviously is from the 2021 movie, which I feel like the costume that they used over at the Oogie Boogie Bash was pretty cool. This is, wow. That's complicated, huh? Olaf. Why does Olaf get his own little thing here? And what is that? Is that the puppet from the Broadway musical? It is. Oh, no way. This one, I don't know how everybody feels about the Broadway musical for Frozen. I feel like it was still a fun time, despite, not being the best. So here's all of the Little Mermaid stuff they have here. I'm surprised I haven't seen more things like this where they're kind of giving you how to keep these things on model, It's very important when they're doing the design work for that. And then, obviously, because there is that new movie, the live action, that is, wow. That's actually pretty cool. All right, that leads us to the next section here, which is about adventure and discovery. And over here we have the costume for Hector Barbosa. Was Jeffrey Rush really this tall? It's kind of like huge, but my goodness, there's a lot of details on this. I swear they should have done an exhibit just on the Pirates of the Caribbean and the costumes and all that. It just looks cool. Have you watched the movies, all of these Pirates movies? No?
Not all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
The trilogy, at least? The first three?
I think I've seen like...
Oh no, go home. Oh, that's cool. So that one was from the fourth movie, right? On Stranger Tides, which probably might be the weakest one of all of them. And then they have a couple paintings from Lilo and Stitch and Moana. I don't remember this part. I do not remember that part. I think just as a painting, this one's really cool. Right? Yeah, that's cool. I wish they did more with Stitch, but nah, they don't really. Over here on the other side, we do have a costume from the Jungle Cruise. This was, oh, thank goodness it's here. Lily Horton was the character's name. Definitely not something I was about to remember. Of course I won't focus on it, but that's what I promise. It was her name. That was English. Okay. And then there was the Nautilus over there. We have to go say hi to the Nautilus. Ooh, what's this? This does something. Is there a camera or something? Oh, do it. Oh, I wasn't expecting
Me
that.
either.
What's her name from Raya?
Oh my gosh. Something with an S.
Sarah. Was it Sarah?
That's the dragon.
What was her name?
Sisu.
Also, we did it again and we got bedknobs and broomsticks.
Much better.
Yes. On, what is it? The beautiful briny sea? Oh, he switched it. He switched it on us. Oh no. What do we got? Oh, that's Fantasia?
Yeah. I thought it was the goldfish from
No.
No.
No, that is not. What's her
That
name?
is
Cleo?
not Cleo.
No. That is a... Oh, it's what's his name?
I don't know why I can't think of anybody's name.
It's too early for this. What is this?
What's going on?
What is this character's name whose movie is named after him? Who could it be?
All I think of is like
Starts with an L.
and that's what I think of. I don't know.
And ends with an A.
Luca.
All right, here's a movie I don't hear people like mention seeing recently or anything, but this I watched recently on Disney Plus. Very much worth your time. And here is the model that they would film when they were doing scenes with the Nautilus underwater. So cool, so intricate. Imagine having like all the rivets that are on here. I can't quite zoom in too much further, but yeah, there are like thousands of these tiny little hole marks. Somebody had to like pump, and I'm assuming it's like that on the other side. Somebody went up and down this thing, creating all these rivets. This is just stunning to me. So now it's around like 11:30 noon, and it's gotten crowded, and there's a lot of like camps or something like that with large groups of kids. So just something to be on the lookout for. But in this section here, we're getting into like Star Wars. There is a section for space. And if you guys know anything about like Walt early Disneyland days, he did a bunch of stuff with like NASA. He always was kind of a futurist in that regard. Think about like the Monsanto House of the Future and all types of other stuff. Then, you know, capping it off with Epcot. But he loved things that moved, not just the trains, but all these rockets and just this hopefulness for what might be. And funded stuff like this. Like, where's the rocket to the moon? They don't have one like that or something? Anywhere. But, yeah, he had used his television series as a way to kind of share with people how we might live tomorrow. Hence all the stuff that was introduced in Tomorrowland. Anyway, I'm glad there's a nod to that here because majority of it kind of seems to be a very high up overview. Oh boy, it's the Skywalker lightsaber hilt. Used by Daisy Ridley. It was not used by Daisy Ridley. It was used by Rey. What was her last name?
Oh, Rey Skywalker.
Ew.
No, Rey Palpatine Skywalker.
Solo, Kenobi the third. Yes, she was Ray Binks. So here's the First Order one. So it's all sequel stuff, just in case you're a Star Wars fan and like things other than the sequels. I'm sorry. Really cool. It looks like such a pain to mold and stuff. I've seen people on TikTok like 3D print these, and it just looks like such a chore, like hundreds of hours to make these things come together. But the design work is awesome. The kids were freaking out when they saw this one. That, like, how do you fit in there? How does somebody fit in there? You gotta be so skinny. This is molded. Man. No wonder they would be overheating and stuff like this. Like, just seeing how little space there is for a person in there. They really make you lean out for these Marvel roles. Up next, a collection of helmets. We have first Thor helmet with the big wings. Ajax from the Eternals. Kind of underrated movie, I think. First Guardians Star-Lord helmet. Mark 1 Iron Man mask. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man, or that's the Wasp helm. And then Thor Ragnarok. And last but not least, oh, the Civil War shield. Nice.
The best one.
It is the best one. Well, no, I mean, the stealth shield from Winter Soldier is also awesome. Shout out to the Disney sing-alongs. This guy was the best. Anyway, hey, they have the dress from Enchanted. I don't think this is the dress, but you know what I mean. It's one of Giselle's dresses. So that's cool. I think we've caught up to the other kitty groups, though. But, of course, this next section, it's a nod to all the music in the movies, which, you know, pretty dang important. So I'm so happy to see all of this. This is sheet music from Snow White. What do we got here? Another layout. So what do they do here? How is this related to the music? I'm not sure. Another story sketch. There's no notes here about the music. Music and song reveal character. Yes, for sure. Okay, I was hoping that this would be more sheet music or more to do with music, but it looks like sketches. Which one's this one? Oh wow, Geppetto looked way different. He looked chunky. Look at a chunky baked bean. There's the Three Caballeros, my favorite. One of my favorites, for sure. Then Cinderella, interesting. So that was a old original story sketch. Oh, here comes Baloo. That's so clean. That's so cool. Yeah. Let's see. Beauty and the Beast. That's from the opening, right? And this one's numbered, but they all say reproductions. And then, hey, something recent. Visual development for the Casita in Encanto. Let's see what we got here. Next up, oh, Sorcerer's Apprentice. Is that storyboarding? Or what is that? I don't know. It's cool though. Oh, Fantasia. Not Phantasmic. This is how they would do the... So I thought that was like reflections of like onto something. Not quite fully animated. This is from the Bumble Boogie. That's Melody Time, which came in the 50s. Oh, Toot, Whistle, Plunk, and Boom. This one was one of my favorites. Do you remember this one?
Yes.
And then An Adventure in Color with This guy, what's his name? Drake?
Professor Von Drake Von something, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Here's a mouse guitar. Wow, that's wow. And it's only got 4 strings. Interesting. This is peculiar. Is this like a Broadway section now? So I know this video is pretty popular, but it's the one, you can look it up, it's Casey Jr. With the sound effects, but they do have a bunch of like shout outs and props and stuff for Foley and sound effects, which is really cool. So this is the whistle that was used for Steamboat Willie. How about that? Is that like 3 pipes? I figured we were going to see this because it's so iconic, but these are the chimes used for Tinkerbell's sounds, movements, and speech, I believe, as well. Yeah, you must be getting hungry, Jamie. You must be getting hungry because this is definitely not a churro. This, you can find out what it is if you put your...
It's the wood crackle from the fire.
Oh, is it? Oh, look, here's the Lion King costume from the musical. Because you know there's no actual lions in it. So this is the next best thing. It's cool though, they put the head down. Like it's almost like a puppet type of thing. Aww. And I don't know if we're at the exit yet, but here's just a giant wall of the different records, albums, and stuff that they've sold. But we gotta give a special shout out over here above to Mouser Size. I wonder why they're not playing that right now. We all need more Mouser Size. If you haven't listened to it, please definitely check it out. Oh, and speaking of Drake, here he is, Ludwig von Drake. He got his own album? Oh, snap. Oh, he had lots of albums, apparently. Right next to the Lizzie McGuire movie. And I would be remiss if I didn't give a quick shout out to some of this concept art from the parks. Obviously, Pirates and the Haunted Mansion have some very iconic songs, as does It's a Small World. So I'm glad they got a tiny bit of representation here. It says the exhibit continues now out this way, and I just don't really know where that might be. This is an angle I didn't think that they were going to share, but it's like the Nat Geo, and before that, just like the regular Disney like nature documentaries that they would produce. Because for a while, that was like their main moneymaker, you know? So I know I'm kind of glossing through this kind of quick, but we will give a shout out here to kind of like the Walt Disney stuff, like when he went to South America with like a whole crew, going to Switzerland, and then getting the ideas for this, or staying inside the cave that eventually inspired Big Thunder and the Rainbow Caverns. And then here's Radiator Springs. Sadly, no, Walt did not have a lot to say about that. This is cool. I didn't know that in the concept art they had animals right up front that were like open and visible. There are animals up front, but not like that. Not like that at all. And when it opened, I went opening here. It was nothing like that. I didn't even see an animal. There's Joe Rody, Man with the Ear, some random kid. Pandora, Navi River Journey. When are you going to get a third ride? I don't know. Okay, so that was the explorations. Innoventions, R.I.P., you don't exist anywhere else. So, this is like the park section. I didn't think that they were going to give the parks this much love. Let's see. A whole thing about storyboarding with Humphrey the bear. Why he doesn't have a bigger presence in the parks, I don't understand. Who this? Who that?
Oh my god.
This is terrifying. Who is that? Is this from it? What? Enchanted?
Enchanted? Oh, this is when she
Oh,
has
wow.
her in her hand.
I don't remember that face, though. That doesn't look like... it's supposed to be Susan Sarandon, right? Oh, man. Audio animatronics.
Love it.
Oh, cool. They have a reproduction of the automaton that they got in Germany and brought back. That's pretty awesome. I've seen... There's a whole museum of automatons near me that, should check out sometime, because it's just nothing but stuff like that, like the pre-animatronics. Project Little Man. What? are you? Terrifying. Is that Lincoln without his skin?
He is.
He's naked. Hi, Lincoln. Long time no see. What else is there? I don't know what this is, Project Little Man. But I guess that's... Oh, there's a bunch of stuff here that'll get him moving. Interesting. So that was like conceptual stuff. Oh, is this the control board?
Yeah.
This is just like the stuff they have in One Man's Dream at Hollywood Studios, or MGM. Hashtag forever MGM. What else you got? Animation Training Center.
That's awesome.
So this is I feel like they never share this. So this is a more modern
Yeah.
control board with USB. And here's a electronic hand. I wonder how much one of these like weighs. It must be a lot. I feel like they're really heavy because I've heard like some of them can be like 800 pounds or something like that.
His fingers has a little hydraulic system in it.
And then this is an animatronic head from the Hall of Presidents. Oh yeah, look at that beauty. Should that be my thumbnail?
I think so.
No. Oh, here's a recreation of Disneyland's first concept sketch. You're home. Oh, excuse me. Didn't quite turn out that way. There's no Millennium Falcon in that one.
Concept art, okay?
Let's see. The 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea at Tokyo is so cool. It's so funny. Like, I don't know if you know, but the biggest complaint was because it was an actual submarine water ride in the States at both parks. Then Tokyo instead they did a suspended little thing with this in the air, and they put bubbles inside the windows that could be brought out on command. And so it's completely dry, but it looks like you're underwater. And it works. It super works, and it requires less maintenance. Okay, so your Disney World is the next section. Here's the Matterhorn bobsled.
I've sat in these bobsleds.
You sat in these bobsleds, huh? These aren't the original ones, are they?
Okay, so you have to sit stacked. So that's when you would sit with someone directly behind you.
Oh, is that why everybody loved this for like date night? Because you take a girl and they'd have to like sit between your legs and you have to get cozy up? Yeah. Makes sense. Oh wow, this whole thing is empty. Did the kids just race by this? Because there were tons of groups in front of us. And there's the thing, the quote, it's the thing. Let's see, Disneyland, early portfolio art. And then, oh cool. This would be cool to have as a print at home if you had like a hallway. The Emporium, the Crystal Palace. So that's definitely Disneyland. Let's see. A draft of the entrance plaque. What were some of the earlier things to say? Where you leave today and visit the world of fantasy yesterday and tomorrow. And so they decided to move fantasy afterwards, and instead of where, it's here. And they removed the Disneyland from the plaque. Sign over entrance tunnels at main gate. The plaque is not ready for opening. Looks like they have a mission coupon booklet, but that's from 1960. Employee badge number 1. I assume all of this stuff is probably either replica or reproduction or whatever. This was a parking pass for a press review for the opening day. Huh. Fun. I mean, I do like that they gave this kind of a Main Street-y type of vibe here. Let's see, we have a plush, we have Adventures Through Inner Space miniature, which was one of the original dark rides. If not, it was the original dark ride. Let's see, Minnie Mouse 50th anniversary costume from Disneyland Park. Hey, Disneyland girl, do you remember this costume?
What is it? Let's see. Oh my gosh, the 50th! Okay, so when the 50th happened, I was like 10 years old, so I don't really remember.
So you don't remember it?
No.
This doesn't.
But I remember the
You probably have
gold
photos of you with Minnie wearing this.
Probably do. Aww.
Did you ever go on Adventures Through Inner Space?
No.
Sad.
My parents did.
Here's a Small World animatronic. Look at those happy little dead eyes. I love it. What else we got? Mr. Toad's It's one of the demons from the hell scene, Mr. Toads. Then we got some audio there. Back there is a model of the castle. Ooh, check this out. This is one of the ride vehicles from the Peter Pan's flight. I can't identify where it's from, like which park it's from, but it looks like the same. I don't know if this has been updated at all.
They look the same.
I feel like they look the same. Oh, but it says here it's a traction vehicle from Disneyland. So here is all of the stuff for the Mickey Mouse Club. What is this? Chaplin chooses Mickey Mouse? What? As a running mate for his Broadway engagement of City Lights? There's just a whole lot here. Oh gosh, the old Mickey balloons were terrifying. Look at this. The old Mickey balloons were not too cute.
Oh my god.
There's the original home sewn doll.
Oh my god, this is the worst one.
What's that? Why is there
Mickey's
with a giant cat? That's terrifying. Oh my goodness. It was all started by a mouse, but why is there 3 of them? Oh, this kid's having the time of his life. My goodness. Terrifying. What do we got here? Zorro. So this is like a lot of TV, a lot of merch. This is just all mixed up. I don't know why they're... So like, was the other one just like major stuff?
This is, we didn't
there's Roy. Yeah, this is... It didn't fit anywhere else, but it still kind of has a theme. Oh man, I could do an entire video about Pooh for President. That looks hilarious to me. Like, it's such a fun story. He went, literally, Pooh went on like a whole train tour and everything. And there were crowds of people waiting. Hey, Big Al. There he is, the man himself. I know things were kind of wacky in like the 70s with animation and stuff though. Especially when they were starting to use like copy machines, Xerox and stuff. Oh. Spell book from Hocus Pocus. So it's a prop, but like, is this the prop that they puppeted or not? Because I know the eye moved around and opened, right?
Oh, it says used by Beth Midler. It's probably the like non-animatronic prop. It's the carry prop.
Oh man, Disney Adventure magazine. I used to subscribe to that. Shout out to JTT, by the way. Aw, Toontown in Magic Kingdom. What a time that was. Oh man. The Indiana Jones Stunt Show Spectacular. What do we got over here? Oh, this will catch us up. Hey, the Heimlich train. The choo-choo train?
Yeah, Heimlich choo-choo.
The choo-choo train. And then, what the heck? The Dharma grape mix. What? From Lost? That's so random. High School Musical 3. Oh, man.
Oh my god, look.
What? Oh, Kingdom Hearts representation.
Amazing.
You guys, the fans don't get enough of it, but you'll take what you can get.
Just that one.
And what's just getting started? What? No, this is the end. It says just getting started. Oh, and then the merch. But this looks like the end. It's a promotion for the new Guardians of the Galaxy, or the last one, I believe. And what else do we have over here? Oh, so here's the marketing part for Peter Pan and Wendy, which I never asked for that. I'm not interested in it too. I hope somebody falls in love with it because I'm sure a lot of people put some time into it. So the merch was kind of not the most exciting thing, sadly. It was kind of like, here's the logo slapped on a bunch of different things. And then it was hard to differentiate sometimes, like what was Disney100 the exhibition versus just regular Disney100, which you ran into with the Corksicle water bottle, right?
You can buy it on their website.
For like $12 or $15 cheaper than it was here. I think it was $55 here and it was $38 on the Corksicle website. So just something to keep in mind. What we ended up getting were the posters though. So every entrance area had a big poster and I tried to highlight it pretty quick, but they are large and there's like 8 of them. Those are all exclusive here, exclusive artwork to the exhibition. I don't know if this is moving anywhere after it starts here in Philly. But that's just kind of the blurb about the merch. It wasn't the most exciting, sadly, and there weren't any like keychains or little things like that, stickers, something like that. It was just shirts, hoodies, that type of thing, mugs. But anyway, what you think as a whole?
As a whole, I liked it. It was nice. It was cute. I think everything was really well set up. I loved the way all the rooms flowed and had their theme. And I don't know, I really liked it, but I also feel like I'm spoiled with a lot of this stuff. At Disneyland and also Glendale, Burbank, a lot of Walt Disney
You have a lot more
Archives
options
history.
than people out here.
Yeah, so I think if you're limited to like maybe this area, this is a really good way to like get your Disney fix. But for me, it was a little underwhelming, but I really did enjoy it. Like, it was cute. It was really cute.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody noticed, but over the course of it, I noticed that a lot of those things were like replicas or reproductions from the Disney archives. Kind of not as exciting to not see the originals, but I guess it's hard to do that in a traveling show circumstance. But either way, I think, like Jamie said, a good way to get your Disney fix, but still overall kind of like underwhelming. I expected a little bit more, I guess, being the first time coming out to one of these. Yes, it's aimed at kids, but like, you know, it can still be at a more serious level in terms of that. It kind of really centered on like, ooh, here's this one thing and this other thing, when I figured it was going to be almost like wall to wall, kind of how like the maquettes. I thought if there was more stuff like that, like more sketches, instead of making a meal out of like, here's 3 sketches, like having just a bunch, you know, like a wall of them. But anyway, anything that they didn't cover in the exhibition that you figured would have showed up for something that celebrates 100 years?
You know, I will say I feel like we really skipped through the beginning years of animation, or even just any other development going on in Walt Disney Company. It just kind of felt like, here's animation, oh, we're in the 2000s now. It was kind of like, oh, but I mean, I would have liked more. I would say they covered almost everything, in my opinion, but I would have liked more.
Yeah, so the first 2 decades were probably glossed over very quickly. There was almost nothing about the wartime era and, you know, all of that. Like, you had to look for it at the very end to see where Donald joined the Navy, right?
Yeah.
He's what in the Navy? He has an official rank, by the way. But yeah, so like a lot of the tech that they're responsible for, there was that Innoventions area, but it didn't really delve into like what type of achievements there were there with like the multi-plane cameras that come from above and just doing the audio in general. I feel like that it just needed more in terms of the, what do you want to call it, like the progress they made with all the different things that they invented to create all the stuff that entertained us, you know? There was a lot going on behind that. And then another thing, and I know it's mostly Pixar, but the way that they simulate water and snow and, again, more technological advancement for animation, they have these crazy sims for, like, Finding Nemo, the water that it was all just, like, simulated. and
Hair.
Right, so, like, hair, Sully's hair, Rapunzel's hair, and then water in like Moana, like all the ways that they've advanced animation and stuff like that, and simulated things like snow and water and all of that. Like, there was no real mention of that type of stuff, but I get the sense that this is mostly geared towards kids, and I want to definitely shout out these kids freaking out when they saw like the Black Panther costumes and all the Marvel stuff, especially the Captain America shield. That warmed my heart. It was awesome. But holy smokes, are they loud. And believe it or not, nobody asked me about the camera. I was surprised.
I know.
I expected it, but instead they asked me if they could pull the lever during the 20,000 Leagues part. So they just wanted to be part of it, which is pretty cool. Anyway, all that being said, Disney100, if you're around, it's a nice way to get the Disney fix. Just don't expect like too much, especially during the early years. It's just a little nod to everything. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more difficult it becomes to try to cover 100 years in a satisfying way. That would just be a massive thing. Like, you could have an entire museum with different wings dedicated to it to do it the type of justice that it probably deserves. Anyway, definitely check it out if you're in the area. I wouldn't go out of my way to do it. Right, Jamie?
Yeah.
Right.
It's cute.
But anyway, all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. I hope you go make your own adventure. Bye.
Bye.
Here's my pal Walt to tell you how the magic is made.
There's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into reality. When we consider a new project, we really study it. Not just the surface idea, but everything about it. And when we go into that new project, we believe in it all the way. We have confidence in our ability to do it right, and we work hard to do the best possible job. There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.